This week's episode is brought to you by Gainz Sports Gear. Embrace the process. Go to Gainz, that's with a Z, sportsgear.com and use Lovers10 for 10% off your first purchase so you can embrace the process too. Now, here's Lovers Quarrel.
Hey everybody.
What's going on, world?
How you doing, babe?
I'm cool, and how you?
I'm good. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. This is a special episode.
This is a very special episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we home. Well, I'm home.
I'm home too.
I mean, you from Queens. I'm home. Like, we're in Harlem. We in the Mecca.
We're in New York though.
We're in Harlem.
Okay.
You know, it's Harlem, Manhattan, and then it's the other boroughs.
Okay. I know you and your Harlemites, y'all superiority complex.
I'm just saying. I mean, listen, when you're that great, everybody comes to Harlem.
Okay.
In Manhattan, everybody comes
comes to Manhattan.
Everybody from other boroughs come to our stuff. They come to Manhattan. They come to Harlem. They party with us. They steal our style. They want our women.
But I heard you didn't want the women.
Listen.
Because your wife is from Queens.
Listen, I mean, that happened, but that's just by God. I can't do anything with that.
Oh, okay.
I can't.
Well, the best you ever had is from Queens.
I mean, touche.
All right. So, as you can tell, we're actually recording in Harlem today, so that's exciting.
It is.
And we also have a special guest.
We surely do.
And look, this is your friend.
It's my guy.
So, you know, we just met, but I want you to roll it out, introduce your man.
I mean, listen, it's Randolph's finest, you know. Got it, you know what I mean? My Randolph alum.
Shout out to FDA.
Nah, A. Philip Randolph. It's all about Randolph.
My alma mater.
Hey, what movie was filmed at FDA?
None.
What movie was filmed at?
Juice.
Exactly.
That's
And juice is very important in your life. We're going to leave it there. Listen, I got my guy Nile, a.k.a. Roc B Wylin of the Unpopular Opinion podcast.
Welcome.
What up, y'all?
What's going on?
I'm good.
And listen, on today's episode, I got to put the disclaimer out there, you know.
The thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, babe.
The thoughts and opinions of Nile, a.k.a. Roc B Wylin, is not that of the Lovers Quarrel podcast. So if you hear some things that you may not be used to,
don't hate us.
But that's okay, though, because you know what? All opinions have a place in this world.
Exactly. Even the unpopular ones.
Of course,
Of course, the unpopular ones. That's how I make my living.
All right. So, like always, we are going to get started with our event of the week. So,
do you want to switch that up? Do you want to get a little bit more about now first and then go into the event of the week? Or
we can...
I'm just asking you.
Either or. It's not in my format. But
all
we
right,
could...
My fault. I didn't mean to mess with the format. We're going to go with the event of the week.
You told me to do a format, and then
you're right.
He tried to mix it up. So
well, I'll give you more about me
exactly.
throughout the show.
And you're going to have your platform.
Yeah.
So, now I know you know how the event of the week goes, and we want to hear yours too. I'll start us off. So, my event this week is for these Black Panther haters. So
you might have took mine. Now I gotta make a new one.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But chime in.
No, go.
So we're recording today a little early. Today's Saturday, and so TJ and I have yet to see Black Panther.
We're gonna see it on Tuesday.
We're gonna see it on Tuesday.
And listen, this is the reason why we're waiting for Tuesday. There's a movie theater called Center Bistro, 21 and older only, and I don't want to be with
alcohol.
Yeah, they do have alcohol. They got food. I just don't want to be with regular people. I don't want to be in Gen Pop. I'm a little bit older. So, yeah, I'm going to pay the extra bread so I can be sitting with adults. And then we're going to watch a movie. I don't want to hear kids. I don't want to see teenagers. Nah. So, yeah, we're going to wait.
You don't want the people yelling at the screen?
Nah, I don't need that. I need some, like, mature people. And, you know, it's in Baltimore, so they got to drive there. I mean, they could take the bus, but that's a long bus drive. So, anyway... So that's why we waited until Tuesday. Otherwise, we could have seen it, but then the seats were like dumb close. And
yeah,
I wish we had a movie theater like that, 21 and up. That should be so dope.
Yeah, it's
so many knuckleheads here.
Once you go, you never want to like go to the regular theater again.
Oh man.
But so anyway, saying that to say, we haven't seen the movie yet, and I appreciate the fact that people who have seen it haven't been like spoiling it. People have been doing really good about it, but I've been hearing people here and there like, you know. Why are people dressing up? People either dressing in like the, African garb, or even like, with like the all black, like the Huey P. Newton type of Black Panther vibe. And you know, I even heard people saying like, oh, this is, you know, we're still giving our money to the white man and also, and I'm like, y'all are like, just embrace it, or like it's just a movie. What does it matter? It's actually, to me, it, you know, and to a lot of people, it is more than just a movie, because so what if we dress up? And I like the argument that people were making, which was like, when people go to see Star Wars, when people go to see Lord of the Rings, when I went to go see Harry Potter, people were literally having, you know, wand fights in the middle of the theater. And that's because they were part of that culture. So now that we have our own culture and are represented in a movie, then now it's a problem. Now people are trying to come for it. This movie is bigger than just another Marvel flick.
Facts.
It is about representation, and it is showing the power of the black dollar, that we can come out in droves and we can make anything successful if you get black people behind it. And it's showing that you can have a black superhero, you can have an African superhero, and it's going to be relatable to anybody from any walk of life. Because what always happens with the movies is that when there are people of color in the lead, then it becomes like, oh, this is a black movie. No, this is just a movie that happens to have black people in the starring roles. And so for all those haters, like, stop being like, you know,
I'm trying to find
crabs in a barrel, or you know, sour grapes and things like that. Because
are those people black or white? I mean, I know it's definitely white people, but are you seeing a lot of black people do it?
I see some people, yeah, I've heard some black people saying that, and it's like giving money to the man. But you know, it also has a black director. And the thing about it is that it's about opportunities. Because if they were given this opportunity, Marvel, Ryan Coogler, they have this opportunity to have this major platform and bring in a part of the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. And the fact that the pre-sales off the charts, the fact that people are coming out in droves, I'm seeing it multiple times, and coming in the African garb or the Black Panther garb, and doing that is showing that, like, oh, maybe we should do this more often.
Right.
It opens it up. So,
or that we can do it more often.
I'm saying, but
we've never had a budget. I'm saying we've never had a budget this big for a movie, regardless of what it is. Like, that should be the reason why people should go support it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that once they see that this movie starring all these black people make all this money, then they're going to provide more money to these directors and actors.
If they're smart.
But that's the point. But my event is, stop hating. Go see the movie, enjoy it. I haven't heard one person have one negative thing to say about this movie. I'm praying I can get to Tuesday without hearing anything about it.
I've heard some people say that they didn't like it, or
really, I never heard it.
I've heard some people say they didn't think it was as good, or as good as the other Marvel movies. But
that's one thing I was afraid of too. Like, I'm afraid, like, even though it's a black superhero film, if it's a bad film, I'm not going to say, all right, I went and supported it, of course, because black cast, black director. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to say the movie was good just because, oh, it's a black superhero.
Just don't put it on social media. You can tell me everything for the culture. You got to just...
That's what I do, though. It's unpopular.
Zip your lips.
Unpopular opinion, man. You got to say it how it is.
It's more than just you,
I mean,
okay?
It's a Marvel movie, though. So Marvel hasn't made...
a terrible...
They haven't made a bad movie. Unless you're counting, like, those X-Men movies. Them just was trash.
No, I'm talking about everything that's leading up to Infinity War.
But, like,
hasn't been terrible.
The Thors, all that.
Ooh, Thor 2 is terrible.
Nah.
It wasn't.
Thor 2 is better than Thor 1.
Oh, you think so?
Thor 1 was trash.
Oh, nah. Ragnarok
I heard
has to be
fire.
The top one out of all the ones.
Captain America 1 was decent.
That was terrible.
America 2 was...
Winter Soldier was good.
Winter Soldier was awesome.
And the third one was tough.
Civil War, yeah, it was good.
But that's the whole point, though, is like, even if you... in the scope of all movies, like, if you're comparing, that's the thing with those movies, you're only comparing, like, you're calling one bad when you're putting it up against the other ones, like the other Marvel
but
movies.
Don't just say it's just terrible.
In the scope of movies, period, I don't think that any of them are like god awful. Like, even, you know what was good that we didn't even go to the theater to see, but Ant-Man was good as hell.
Yeah, that was a dope movie. So, I slept on that too.
It's just so, like, they're only in competition with each other. They're not in competition with like movies in general.
I can see that.
So
at the end of the day, though, they need to thank my man Wesley.
What, Blade?
Yeah.
Blade 3 was terrible.
Yeah, but saying
it wasn't Marvel.
Blade 1 and 2 were good.
Blade, I'm saying Blade is the first, like, cartoon production that they made. When you think about it.
Anything with Ryan Reynolds is terrible.
Huh?
Anything with Ryan Reynolds is just terrible.
Oh, I like Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't Ryan Reynolds Deadpool?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't good in any other movie except
Besides
that.
Deadpool?
Yeah. So,
I mean, Green
that's just
Lantern
me,
was
though.
awful, but still.
But that's a script.
Yeah.
That's a script.
Well,
the actor can make a script like awesome.
Nah.
if you don't deliver.
Not always.
To me, like Blade was corny. Like he was corny, like in the movie, but you know, he's Blade. When he fights, it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I can get down with
But
that.
the premise was dope too.
Like he smiled.
he's
Like
black
Blade,
and-
don't come on.
I mean, but to that
Like, come on.
time, for real, they were experimenting.
Right.
They probably gave Wesley that movie to be like, fail.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was a cult classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So
I always think about the scene where they outside of like the blood farm. Remember they like harvesting people in the farm, and he was like, "Motherfucker, I'll kill you." You remember?
listen.
That's my favorite part.
Shout out to Wesley.
Right. Shout out to Wesley.
But that's my vent.
okay.
Don't be a Black Panther hater. You gotta be a Black Panther. Just sometimes you gotta.
My vent is
Ride
happy,
the train.
so I'm gonna let Nile go next.
So you gonna bring us all the way down?
Nah.
All right. Well, she got part of my vent, so I had a backup just in case.
Okay.
My vent of the week is when we call everybody king and queen, right?
Okay.
I absolutely refuse to share king status with somebody, let's say a dude down the block who's been down the block his whole life. Let's say he used to sell drugs, or he just pretty much a loser. I refuse to share king status with a loser. Like, yo, not to call anybody a loser, but I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah.
Like, we out here all busting our ass, grinding, trying to do things to get to the next level, and then I hear somebody say we're all kings and queens. No, we're not. So you have courtchesters too.
Yeah.
Those are clowns, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a lot of courtchesters out here. You got a lot of people who I don't know, let's say gladiators, the dudes who like to fight, we call them gladiators, but you ain't a king.
I feel you. I understand what you're saying.
I don't know, man. That's just
Like a
me,
royal
man.
court.
I feel you.
Yeah, like you
Makes
ain't.
sense.
I'm not gonna call the birdess of the bird a queen.
I call like my guys. I may be like, "What up, king?"
Right.
But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not calling just anybody king. Like if I see the regular dude, I'm not gonna be like, "What up, king?" Like, nah.
Right. I mean, like, you know, like, it's cool that, you know, we trying to, like, move away from the N-word. Mm-hmm. So if we have to use that word to, like, get away from the N-word, because I'm pro for that. Mm-hmm. But it's just, like, we all not kings and queens. Like, I hear, you know, just empower the black people and to, like, you know, push them. But it's just, like, we all not kings and queens. Like, I'm not.
If the shoe fits.
Yeah, if the shoe fits, you're a king.
If
you're not, then no. That's my event. Real quick.
You're entitled to that. Maybe they, you know,
I understand that.
I'm a glass half full kind of person. So I'm like, maybe there's calling people, any and everyone, kings and queens, because even if they aren't demonstrating royal behavior now, maybe they'll like aspire to it. Like it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if I call you one, then you start to act like one because you have a higher value of yourself. You take more consideration of like what you're doing, because it's like if I'm being called a king but I'm not doing kingly things, then maybe I need to change my tune.
So I got a question, being that you said that, right?
Yes.
So do you feel like, let's say, for lack of a better word, let's use the word, the hood rat, right?
Okay.
So you feel like a hood rat can change, or is it embedded in her to be like this forever because of how she was raised?
I think anybody can change. I think it has to do with you have to want to change, and I think it also has to do with like exposure. Like sometimes if that's all you know,
right,
then that may be all you do. But then once you know better, you do better. So I think it's possible. Does every single person who might be classified as like a hood rat or a bird or a guy who's just like the guy down the street that whatever, like if there are people we know that live their entire lives that in like a 5-block radius, you know, are just for argument's sake. So if they don't see any better, know any better, then maybe they can't do any better.
But do you know any that changed?
Would you go
Be
Cardi
honest.
B a hood rat?
Huh?
Would Cardi B considered a hood rat who changed?
Did she change? She owns it. She owns being loud and obnoxious and being a bird, and this is why we respect her.
Yeah. I think I look at it as she's honest. Like she's at peace with who she is for the most part, and so that's why like she takes the power away from all the things that people could use against her, like her stripper past.
That is true.
Her poor, you know, her vernacular, her
teeth,
her
image, and I think that's what makes, for me, that would be like she's growing. Now, I mean, she did it, and now she's telling. I mean, before the Love of Hip Hop, she was telling people like, you know, the negative shit to say like,
don't do what I do.
Don't do what I do. Yeah, like you can be better than me, pretty much.
You really think she's growing, or you think it's like the machine behind her that's telling her, why don't you conduct yourself like this? Because if you see her gram and then you watch her on an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, it's two totally different things. She turns it off.
I think she's having. I think she's honestly she's going through. I think she is growing because I think what we're seeing is her growing pains because it's really hard to go from being somebody who only is known like on Instagram or in like the community, the Love and Hip Hop-esque community to like
sitting next
you
to
sit next to Anna Wintour at Fashion Week, like. So I think sometimes she has struggles with that because she maybe feels like sometimes it's like she's got to be inauthentic in order to fit into these circles. It's very My Fair Lady, like it's like she's from the streets, she's from this, and then she's put into this. She's in this new world with these new situations where people love her, but that's also because she's so like cut from a different cloth. So it's kind of like, and so I hope that part doesn't happen where like the novelty of her in these new circles, these very like A-list circles, doesn't wear off and now she's kind of cast aside or anything like that, because she does work very hard. And so I think that we're watching her growing pains because she's like, one thing, like we're going to see the read later, and like one thing they said on the show several times is like how like sometimes she's got to learn like she doesn't have to clap back at everybody, she doesn't have to go at it, but that's her, like that's that internal struggle between like her old life where she had time and this and the other, and her new life where now she's got the difference is now she's got way more to lose than any of these people on Instagram, because before they were pretty much on an even playing field. Now she's got so much to lose that even though it's in her initial nature to like, you come for me, I come for you back, that's how I was raised, to now it's like, no, like you gotta sometimes let it walk because you will have more to lose than that person. So and even if you get your dig in, they could come back for you or something else, like when she's talking about fighting people still, right? So that's the thing that you're watching. I think we're watching her growing pains. So bringing it all the way back around. Right. To answer your question, as far as like a person who would be classified as like a hood rat, can they change? I do think that people can change. I think it's just a matter of being exposed to other alternatives or to other lifestyles or whatever, and seeing that like where they are in their life, where they only exist and move in a certain way, is not the only way that they have to exist and move.
I mean, yeah, but you won't share. I know you won't share queen status. With a chick that's like Cardi B, in the street regular, who's not Cardi B, let's say just regular girl down, talking all loud and stuff like that. You sharing queen status with her? I don't think so.
I mean, I think that. Listen. I don't personally. I don't really use the king or queen term. Okay. In general, like not of myself.
Might be a Harlem thing.
Maybe, and so it's just not. It's not a term that I use regularly, but if you want to, then you can. Like I said, maybe you can. It'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy, but some people take a long time to ascend to the throne, and some people are born into it. So I don't know, maybe. So
well, that's my bent.
Good. Okay. Now let's Debbie Down over here.
Nothing Debbie Downer. So on the last episode, I talked about LeBron James and Kevin Durant interview. Yeah. And how they, they was just talking and how dope LeBron is. And this woman named Laura Ingram, she works for Fox News. She's a racist.
I heard of this. This is
and she basically tried to rip LeBron apart. And try to downplay him and say that he left high school early, which doesn't make sense because you can't leave high school early to play basketball. But whatever, it's pretty much she was saying he needs to shut up and dribble a basketball. She said that it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. So she concluded her segment with "Shut up and dribble." So my event of the week is to her, because in that interview, LeBron was saying like, although he's this mega superstar, got all this money, he gets brought back to reality when they write nigga on his gates. Like he gets he gets brought back to the reality that they love you because of what you do, but they don't love you. And then here she comes. She shows her face, and it's just so crazy that we live in that world, like, and it just keeps showing itself. And that's the biggest thing with it for me. Like, how dare she? Like, just because he didn't go to college, he's not smart. Because Bill Gates didn't go to college.
Steve Jobs didn't go to college.
Michael Dell didn't go to college. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of college. So do they not have a voice? Do these billionaires not have a opportunity to speak? And then some player for the Eagles kind of clapped back, and he was just like, they had Kid Rock on Fox News. How come you don't tell Kid Rock, shut up and
play music?
They had Chuck Norris on there talking politics. Why is it that when black people talk about politics or talk about the injustices, we're being told to shut up? Like, why do we have to shut up? Like, I just can't understand why they feel that they can. Well, I know why. Ever since Trump got into office, they are bold. Like, they are bolder than bold. They don't care, and there's no issues there. No one cares. Like, again, in the '60s, there was segregation. Like, people need to remember that, and it was kind of like swept under the rug. But now it's back up. The monster's here. So my thing is to this racist woman, like, what are you thinking? And then the crazy thing about her is, like, she, like, adopted, like, a Guatemalan child, right?
Yeah. So
you have a minority that you're raising. Are you raising her to be a hate monger like you?
Quite possibly. I mean, listen, Laura Ingram's on what? Fox News. That is, the racist news network. So, and that's their platform, and they just try to make everything about anything a person of color they have a problem with. They just, that's Donald Trump's mouthpiece. That's it.
Y'all really think it's like a race issue? Because I really feel like nowadays the political climate that we in right now makes people so sensitive to everything people say that, anything that comes up is just like a black or white thing. Part of me, this is kind of like unpopular, but part of me thinks like it kind of wasn't much as a race issue as it was. She just doesn't respect him for the fact that he plays basketball. But, she envies the fact like you get 100 million dribbling a basketball, and I'm here, had to go to school, had to be an anchor, had to work my way through the grind, and who are you to say whatever you want to say because you just play basketball? You think it's a black and white thing? If you do it, I mean, I can see both sides, but...
So I'm going to say, I understand where you're coming from with that, but I also see the other thing. Most of the athletes in basketball are black.
Right, that's true.
Think about it. They put in the dress code because of they didn't want to see young black people rocking what they was rocking. I mean, it was truly put in because of AI. Like, because the dress code that they have now, it's like even crazier. If you see some of the stuff that Russell Westbrook wears, it's out of this world.
Yeah.
But it's lenient now. But David Stern, you can't show the world as a young black professional that you can buy all this jewelry and wear jerseys and be flashy. Like that was a way for them to try to control us. So for her to say shut up and dribble a basketball, like, to me that was just the racist thing. Because she could have said,
I do see what you mean.
She could have said, shut up and do something different. But he does more than dribble a basketball.
Let's talk about college.
Yeah, he put people through college. He rebuilt his school. He gives back to the community. Like, talk about that stuff. Like, I'd rather you say shut up and continue doing your community service.
Right.
Then cool. But for you to say shut up and dribble a basketball, like,
if it was a black person that said it, you think it would be a race thing too?
I think it would be steep. I think it would have been steeped in prejudice because
I think it depends on who it is. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, like, I think it would have been steeped in prejudice because even if it's like the thing about it is a lot of these comments and that are being made about people of color. Like the question could be like, oh, are we being overly sensitive? But in my opinion, Donald Trump being elected to office, if you support him, then that means you support racism, you support sexism and bigotry and prejudice. And because these are the things that he has himself given multiple examples of how he subscribes to each of these like isms or whatever you want to call it. So if you she takes issue with him having a comment about whatever, because in her opinion, he has no value. He has no value besides dribbling a basketball. But I don't like the taking it back to like the Kid Rock thing. Then that sort of didn't apply to anything. Like unless you are a politician or an analyst or something like that, then you should have no point in that conversation. So how is it that you are saying that these people can come on here and have this platform to speak their mind about the opinion, but then this person who also is in a career that is not politically affiliated, when they make a political statement, now it's a problem? What's the difference between them and him? And there's one major one.
And then even with that, if that's the case, Donald Trump isn't a politician.
I mean, he says that all the time, though.
I know, but I'm saying, so technically, you should say Donald Trump should never say anything.
They shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't.
Because he's an outsider, right? That's how he won.
Your personality. Like, he's a personality who won. I just think that the climate has changed so much. And yes, I do agree with you. We are overly sensitive.
Right.
Like, just over everything. You can't joke on kids. You just can't joke, period. Like, a comedian can't make jokes when that's your job.
Right.
Like, as a comedian, like I've said before, you can say something that may sound off the wall, but if it's funny, it's funny. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Period.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing that's coming out of it. But for me, I just thought it was so crazy because he just said in the interview, like, they reminded me that I'm still I'm still black in America. And then she comes right out like, shut up.
I actually love that this happened because people need to see this. Like, I mean, a lot of stuff they would mask just because Trump is our president. Like, everything comes to the forefront now. And I think it's important that we all need to know where we stand, because it's like, I'd rather know how you feel than to secretly know how you like. Yeah, you plotting and stuff like that.
It's like that veiled racism. Now it's more overt. Like, and I think that's why it was such an issue. But and that's why, to me, if you voted for him, then you and I have nothing really to talk about. Because
definitely. So
like that, like it's like, thank you for making it glaringly clear to me that like you do not need to be in my life, or in my space.
But with us knowing that now it's up to us to understand like our vote does matter. Our thoughts do matter. So when we have the midterm elections, anytime we have something, we need to go out and vote.
Yeah, we have to.
Like, as everybody, because that election, people were writing in Harambe and putting themselves in as...
Or not voting at all.
So...
I mean, Hillary did win the popular vote.
Yeah.
But that don't mean nothing in the world.
You're right.
I mean, more than anything, Donald Trump was able to use his gift of gab, and he was able to get the people who wasn't smart enough to believe, let's make America great again. And then once he got their votes or whatever, like, he's not helping those poor redneck people. And a lot of women voted him in. And then those same people were like, oh my God, they regret that they voted him in, but
he trolled his way into the White House, and the reason why he keeps these people on the hook, because even though he hasn't done anything for all those people in the flyover country, that in the middle of America that voted for him, is because he speaks in sound bites. Like, he gives, he talks in slogans. So people eat that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's why
small elevator pitches.
Yeah, quick. So that's why they keep, our attention span is short. So that's why he's able to keep them like wanting more and supporting him, because if they were to take a step back and look at the grand scheme of things, they would see that, like, obviously nothing he's doing is helpful to America, but they feel disenfranchised, they feel left out, because the liberal left has, and people of color have now been getting, these people think that the leveling of the playing field is like them losing out on something, when really it's just, no, we're just being put on the same playing field. We've been behind, we've been behind the curve all these years, and now as time has progressed, we've been coming up and catching up with what all the opportunities and privileges that you've had your entire lives and for generations. And now that this is the case, now it's a problem. You know, a lot of white people think that. They think that me having the same opportunity is taking their opportunity away. And that's why they get upset.
Same thing with Kaepernick taking a knee for police injustice, and they say that he's disrespecting America.
Yeah.
So.
But... Well,
that's it for my vent.
All those vents, we got all.
Yeah, that would have went into a whole. I had so much to say, but that would have went into a whole nother topic. So I'm like, let me just.
Therapeutic, but
right.
As always, you know, we always have our relationship tip of the week because Lovers
gang,
Quarrel is, you know, we still bring it back to relationships and things like that. And our relationship tip of the week is talk goals with your partner. See, right on time. It's telling me it's time to talk about the tip of the week.
Yeah.
So you need to talk goals with your partner. A lot of times when you're in relationships, as you start to kind of get a little bit more serious,
this could be friendships too.
Yeah, and
this is just goals. Go ahead.
So you still have things that you want to accomplish as a couple, and then there's the things that you want to accomplish for yourselves as your own individual person. And so talk long-term and short-term goals. Know what your partner wants to work towards and how long it's going to take them, so that way you can either be like a resource to them, you can know how to support them, because, you know, people will have long-term and short-term goals, but they won't communicate on them. So then it's like all of a sudden a person wakes up and is like, hey, I decided I want to go to school and be a doctor. And they're like, how's that going to impact our lives? Like, you know,
I'm taking this job.
I'm taking this job
across
like,
the country.
And you're like, excuse me, we didn't talk about this. But if you knew that these things are coming, then that way you can like plan accordingly. And again, be a resource, be a support, or even, you know, sometimes
even in your friendships, you know. I mean, when I knew that I was going to get my master's, because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, you know, I speak to my friends like, yo, I'm thinking about getting my master's. What you think? And shit like that. And then we had the same idea, like, all right, cool. That was kind of the reason why I jumped in my program, because I got accepted, but I was like, I'm going to wait. But then my man was like, I got in, I'm registered. It was like, nah, you're not leaving me. Like, you're not going to have your master's before me, or I'm not going to be the one who inspired you to go ahead and go get it, and now I'm not getting it now. So we're going to do it together. So I think that you should always just have that. You should always talk with your friends, your partners, and just make sure that your family, just make sure you're on the same line, trying to accomplish the same things.
Yeah, goals is always important to talk goals. I feel like, when you're talking goals, just always constantly inspiring somebody to do something better. Like, even when I spoke with you, you inspired me to do my podcast. Like, that's always a thought I just had. And then I'm just here, like, just talking crap just to talk on my Instagram and my Snapchat. I'm like, why don't you put that energy into a show and stuff like that? So shout out to you for that.
Appreciate
definitely.
it.
Funnel it, yeah. Okay, so that's our relationship tip of the week.
We're gonna run real quick. We're gonna take a little break so we can get to our
interview portion, so we can really get to know our guest.
Yes, y'all can get to know him. I know him. That's my guy. So y'all can get to know him. But listen, we're gonna take a moment from our sponsor and get back to you.
All right. Raw HandBags are handbags that come in all shapes and styles that are designed for all women to wear fearlessly, spread womanhood, and inspire. Make sure you guys check out Raw HandBags at www.rawhandbags.com, and feel free to enjoy 10% off your first purchase using the code LOVERS10. And now, let's get back to the show. All right, everybody. So, instead of our typical listener letter, we are going to open the floor up to our guest, Nile, aka Roc B Wylin.
Yeah.
I definitely have some questions for you, so I know he's been a little anxious, but it's okay. I promise I don't bite. The only thing I will preface before we go into anything is that on the Lovers Quarrel show, there will be no Beyonce slander, because...
Oh, man.
I
can't promise. Don't ask me no question, because then I'm going to answer it.
There will be no Beyonce slander.
You Beehive?
She's definitely a beehive.
So I'm beehive adjacent. I'm not gonna put.
There's no such thing.
Exactly.
Yes,
it's either you gang or you not.
I'm beehive adjacent because I don't take the time to put lemons and bees under people's profiles that like say disrespectful things about Beyonce. However, though, I will go to all her concerts. She will get all my money whenever puts any music out. I follow her on Instagram. So all of that. Yes.
We Rihanna Navy over here.
I love Rihanna too, but Beyonce is number one for me. But so Nile, like just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, and also just whatever you think you would want our lovers to hear. Okay.
Well, first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to y'all podcast. We were speaking off air, and I was telling you that TJ has actually inspired me to actually even start my podcast. Once again, you can find that on SoundCloud and iTunes. Unpopular Opinion.
Yes. Plug away.
Where
Yeah,
and I really got to start at it from just talking crap on my Instagram and my Snapchat. I use it as a way for me to express myself. Like
therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. Like whatever I'm saying or doing during the day, I just go ahead and I just put it out there because I feel like you never know what somebody's thinking until they actually say it. Mm-hmm. And then, I got friends that I'm always around, and we don't actually have intelligent conversations or, like, we're always talking sports or the regular, typical guy stuff. But, I'm so much more than that. Like, I can be political, I can be conscious, I could be funny all the time. And, I got a lot of clowns in the group, so my form of satire kind of doesn't even get through and stuff like that. But, that's really where I got to start. I want to give a shout out again to TJ helping me get my equipment, everything together.
To help, man.
And
like I told you.
Yeah, it's each one teach one, man. He saw me, pulled me up, rather than that little meme that's going around with black people push each other off, the staircase. Yes,
right?
yes.
I saw that.
Yeah, so it's like, I wanted to do the same thing, and I inspired my friend to actually do the same thing. Yeah, I mean, he has his own podcast
that's
now.
How we gotta do it.
We all gotta help each other out, like. And I will say it's funny because, like, obviously you and TJ knew each other. And so I just remember, like, he would be listening to your Instagram. Not Instagram. It would be Snapchat.
It would be either or. I'll be walking around the house.
And you have a really distinct voice.
And
so I would be like.
I'll watch it, like I could be walking and listening to it. Or, like, when I have free time. Because with Tatum now, sometimes the shit may be, like, we're in the bed. So now I'm watching your shit. And it should be like, who is that?
Yeah, that's how it started. Because I didn't know who he was listening to, but I was hearing what you were saying. And a lot of times they were unpopular opinions,
right? And
so I just remember being like, who is this? Like, why? Like, what is he talking about?
I give a disclaimer all the time. Yeah. It's like, yo, listen, if it doesn't apply, let it fly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do that. They take it to heart. And it kind of inspired me to do the show because it's like, yo, you don't like what I say, let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
and that's why I was always interesting because I was just like, you had a very original opinion. I say that it's sometimes unpopular, sometimes sometimes different, and then also too like your sound. And I was just because I just remember just being like, yo, who are you listening to? Like, what is he talking about? And that's how I got to like know you through your Instagram and your Snap versus like knowing you personally.
Right.
But speaking of which, then like you guys have your relationship. You went to the same high school together, and so tell us like a little bit like how y'all knew each other or how y'all met and how like that little high school bit was, and then like I have a question specifically for you.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so y'all can kind of go to this part, but then I got a Randolph question for you.
I don't really remember when I met Nile, but I remember meeting Nile. If that makes sense.
Right.
I want to say it was like in a calf, like.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It had to be.
And I had to just been like walking around and they were just over there and I sat with them. I feel like it was something like that.
It was always sports talk, heavy sports talk.
I think that was really what it is. It was the sports talk, and then it was kind of like, we all love sports, so. And then from there, we just built a relationship.
TJ used to always, I kind of remember, TJ used to always tell me I was wrong, like on everything I was telling him to do.
Oh,
and you know what?
Okay, so that started before me.
Now that we're older, I got a confession. You were right. I was wrong on a lot of my sports topics, and you wouldn't even believe why. Because I was actually wrong because when I was growing up, like, I actually didn't have cable. So I couldn't even watch a lot of these sports shows. So I'd get up in the morning and I'll get like a newspaper and I'll see the stats just so I could be ready for the argument.
Got you.
And I watched the news and said, but y'all were right. I didn't know nothing. I was talking about.
God.
So I had to improvise. That's why I was a New Jersey Nets fan when Kid was there. Because that's the only people I could see on TV. So it was like, yeah, so I had it hard growing up. So, you can't say, yo, I don't have cable. Everybody would make fun of you.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, high school was so different.
I hated high school.
I think about that all the time. Like, you weren't allowed to eat school lunch. You weren't supposed to. And
see, the basketball team, they used to kill it at times.
But I'm just saying, growing up, like, you didn't eat. You either bought your own lunch or
you waited till after school to eat.
Yeah, or you get the vending machine. But it wasn't like.
Yeah, you didn't want to be caught dead with the school.
Yeah, it was all about keeping up with the popular kids and stuff like that. Yeah,
because even in our FDA, because we wore uniform, like the way people had to show that they had it like that, because like obviously like your clothes is like the first your calling card for like how fly you are, but when you all have on the same thing, it's hard to do that. So
6XT.
We did it. So we did it with like it was always kind of like the book bag you had, your coat, your jewelry, your shoes, because like everybody had to have a North Face, and it was like then towards like the end of high school, it was like more kind of started to kind of become a thing, and then like name chains and your ear, like that was the
name belts.
Yeah, name
Prada
belts.
shoes.
Prada shoes.
Because y'all wore uniforms.
So that was
Diesel.
Yeah, Lacoste. That was like a thing.
But they had
shoes too.
I don't remember Lacoste shoes. I remember Diesels because that was
Diesel was big too.
Diesel was like all the Spanish people was rocking them.
Right.
But then we got a hold of it. It was like, oh, we could rock this to like work. Like so my whole internship when I worked in the DA's office, that's all I wore. Like khakis, a button up, and my Diesel shoes. Like because they were like shoes, but they were sneakers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that brings me to the next question, which you kind of touched on a little bit. So, even though TJ and I like started dating when we were in high school,
just jump right into it.
We didn't go to the.
I like it.
We didn't go to the same school,
okay.
So I only saw the side of TJ that liked me and wanted to date me and was nice and sweet. Like I don't know where he is now, but
so, okay. I like where this is going.
How was TJ in high school? Because I've heard stories when he was little, but I've never really heard somebody who actually like went to school with him. Like, what was he like?
I'm gonna be honest with you. TJ's not gonna like what I said because when we actually got connected through Instagram and stuff like that, TJ could play the dozens with anybody. Like, TJ, when it was time to joke, he go right at you. And because he was always bigger than everybody and stuff like that, it just seemed more intense. He had the deep bass. He's a very intense person. Yeah, he had the deep bass voice. So it's like, it makes it, he's just like trying to kill you with the jokes and stuff like that. So it kind of made him look like he was a bully. But he really wasn't. Like, you sit there and talk to him. It was the way he expressed himself. Yeah. But, TJ was,
sometimes he comes off like a bully now.
I've got that all my life.
So when I see him now, and when we talk now, it's like, wow, like the maturity level. Or maybe it was just, because his voice was just deeper than everybody. It just felt like that. But it's like, yeah, I always thought like kind of a bully, but he not. He wasn't to me.
I mean, but me and you spoke about that. But
right.
I didn't feel like I was a bully, but my thing was like once somebody tried to go at me, then I was go. Like I was just go mode, and maybe that could have been like the bullyish, like the bully way because you may have said one thing, but I'm coming with 100 things.
Yeah, like somebody fires one shot and then here you come with a cannon.
Exactly.
Yeah, people in high school they try to assassinate your whole character. Yeah. It wasn't even like, it's like look at your jeans. It's like, no, that's why your family. Like Harlem kids
burned down.
Like the jokes was just like too intense back then.
You were too.
But you just take it on the chin.
Listen, you grow up, but that's why I say. Being older and seeing things differently, like we joked. That was just something that you did. You had to have tough skin.
Right.
Period.
You had to.
You just had to have tough skin or be able to fight. But I wasn't fighting. Like I never had a fight in high school, so that wasn't an issue. But we joked. Like, and you could say something is off limits, but if if my off limit is don't call me fat, and you go there, then I have to. I have to find something to go at you.
That was his on switch.
Yeah, that's the on, like.
That's what he told me. He told me every time. He was like, he was like, all you can say about me is I'm fat.
Yeah.
He was like,
I had to start doing it. But I learned that in like middle school. Like people, they used to always want to go to the fat jokes.
Yeah.
So I had to start embracing it. Like, fuck it, I'm fat.
Right.
But you wear the same clothes every single day. Or
Right.
you are the smelly kid. Like, my thing was, if you didn't fire the shots, we were cool.
It's crazy now because remember, like, it wasn't cool to be a big guy then. Now it's like big guys is accepted now in today's culture.
Yeah,
like,
we talked about that
Rick
before.
Ross.
Right.
We talked
Fat
about that
boy
before. And I'm like, it's
SSE.
easier to
Fat
be
boy
a,
SSE.
It's
Yeah.
easier to be a big guy than it is to be a big girl.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always.
Yo, I know a lot of guys that's in the big girls. Like, it's not even like.
See, I think
A lot of
Like,
guys like
openly?
secretly like that.
back in the day,
No, you're right.
Openly.
Secretly,
But-
secretly.
Openly.
back
See?
in the day, yes, I think especially once Drake said I like my girls BBW, then everybody was like, oh, if Drake likes it, then we can like it
But
too.
then those thick girls were like, not like BBWs, but thick girls were saying I'm a BBW. No, like no,
Yeah.
BBWs are totally different.
Exactly,
thing.
and that's my thing. The fact that he said I like BBW, he didn't say I like my girls thick.
Right.
He went to the extreme.
Yeah, he went to the extreme.
So
yeah.
now it's accepted. I mean, plus, there's a few models out there who's like flaunting it.
Yeah, what's the one I saw? I didn't even
Which
know
one?
the show was still on.
Hit the
America's Next Top Model. I saw a big girl. She was one of the
Is that
models.
Lyris? The one that
Yeah.
the one
She's
that won?
she was white
Oh
though.
no, she
or-
wasn't. That wasn't not
But,
Top
I
Model.
mean,
That was
Lyris is
Project
one.
Runway.
My favorite is Tabrani Majors. I think
Tabria.
something.
But see, I
I'm
wouldn't
not
even
familiar.
count her as like.
She's amazing.
I don't count her. She's not BBW. Like
Yeah, well-
she's plus size now, but like she still has a flat stomach. Like she's just thicker in all areas, but it's still
But
well
for modeling,
packaged.
for modeling,
But I'm talking
She's
about the
definitely-
real world.
Yeah, no.
So now that's why dudes is in love with her because she looks like the chick that you walking in the street that you would fall in love with. But women who are plus size, such as myself, such as some of my friends, like now I was saying like
excuse the grandfather clock.
exactly. I think it chimes in every time I'm about to make a really good point. That's what's gonna happen. So guys will like women who are curvy or sometimes in the right and the wrong places, but will they be open about it? Will they be upfront about it? I don't think that they are. I think sometimes I think too is like you are looking at your perspective, like even like I'm your wife and you love me, you claim me obviously, and I don't fit the cookie cutter mold of like what is the standard of beauty, and you outwardly express your love and your attraction to me, but like there's a lot of guys who would not admit like that they are attracted to this type because they might get slandered for it.
But
That is true.
But at what
That is
age?
true.
I think that also depends on the maturity level and what you go through, because society tells us you're supposed to like girls skinny.
Let's ask now. So you are, and this isn't even one of the questions, but you're single right now, correct?
Right.
And so you have single friends. I'm sure you have friends who are in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a lot of times, like me and TJ, because we're married, we've been together for so long, like that is one perspective that we don't have any experience in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Facts.
like, but you are also the same age, around the same age as us. So is it in your experience, like, have y'all had those conversations about women of size, and like, is it something that now that you're approaching knocking on 30 that like men are open with, comfortable with, if that's what they like, or are they still kind of like hiding it?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They're still hiding it. We're at me and my friends go to the bar. Like the fellas get together. We go to the bar every Thursday. And, you know, nothing's off limits as far as what we talk about. And it's like, it is frowned upon, like dating a woman who's like plus size, whatever. But at the same time, if you were to date one, they're not gonna say anything to you. It's just like, that's just not their particular preference. I personally, it doesn't really matter what size she is if I feel like you're attractive. So it's just like, I don't really, as you get older, you stop caring what your friends say.
Of course.
But, you know, in the moment, you know what I'm saying,
You gotta be
kind of
happy.
do. You have to be happy.
That's
yeah.
the biggest thing. But my thing is, so if she's a bigger girl, but she's fly as shit, confidence through the roof.
Yes, I know. I know a lot of those. Yeah.
Like, for me, I'd rather that than someone who looks beautiful, but they're flawed inside. Like, I can't take them nowhere. They can't talk. They lack confidence. They just get by because they're pretty. That's it.
As somebody who dates a lot, like, I noticed that the more beautiful the girl is, like, even inside and out, kind of the more of a headache and issues that she has, like, especially with insecurity. Like, I feel like when you go out with a woman who's more plus size, I don't know, she's more confident than the woman. Even she might show me that she's more confident in herself than a beautiful chick would. Because, like, you go out and, like, why are you looking at her? Like, I'm like, damn, babe, you better than her. I'm just looking in that direction. Or if we're at the beach, everybody's damn near naked at the beach. And it's like, yo, like, whatever.
I mean, me and TJ, like, we look at girls together, like,
yo, that's what it's about.
So like we'll be like, and obviously we don't want to be like creeps or whatever, but sometimes like a chick will walk by, or
I'm a creep,
and we'll be like, don't.
I'm okay with being a creep. Sometimes.
That's dope, by the way.
Like, we'll walk by and they're like, and then it'll be like, the way we'll go by, like, it's fat. And he'll be like, it's fat. Like, and so like it's like trying to be discreet, but then it's like, but I mean, like,
have fun.
Like, I don't have a big butt, so I appreciate a big butt when I see one.
Right.
So I'm like,
at the end of the day, it's always gonna be someone prettier with a better body. So if you can't appreciate what else is out there, like, just because I'm looking at something else doesn't mean that I want that. I could just appreciate it. Like, it's several paintings out here. If I own this one, I can't, I can love this one, but I can love this one as well. Like, saying that to say that in relationships, it shouldn't be about, like, why are you looking at somebody else? Now, if you go approach it, then that's different. But if you're just looking, or, you know what I mean? Like, again, that's me and her be having banter. Like,
yo, that's what it's about. Yeah, your partner has to be your best friend. But you know what's funny about those girls with, like, the big butts and stuff like that? You ever notice that they single a lot? Like I got friends. Can I curse on here?
Yeah.
I got friends, and shoot, even me. Like, I noticed, like, you know what I'm saying, you might be dating a woman who has a big butt, and then all that is cool, but it feels like you go back to another chick that's not. I don't know. They say the bigger the butt, the more the headache.
Really?
But that's a whole nother thing.
All right, so here's another one for you, sir. Like I kind of mentioned already, like, TJ and I, we have the long-term marriage. We kind of got that perspective on lock. But the dating and dating multiple people, being in and, not saying that you're like different girl or anything like that, but you've had multiple relationships, you've had growing pains, you've kind of gone through that, and
I'd be fucked up in today's game.
With that being said, like,
it's hard out here.
We're approaching 30, or we already are 30, such as myself. And what is your outlook on relationships? Like, what are you prepared for relationship wise at this point in your life? Like, what are you looking for?
Ooh, all right. Well, first off, I want to say I've been single probably like 5 years now, and
by choice.
No, I don't even think it's by choice, bro. It's just like I can't find what I'm looking for. I hate sharing this story, but I was actually like the side dude in a relationship before, and I got everything that he got without the title and the headache of arguing and stuff like that. And I was like, one day I woke up next to him. I'm like, damn, bro, like, this is awesome. Like, how can I not find this for myself? So it's like nowadays, as I get older, I want somebody who, as I'm approaching 30, I kind of don't want a girl that's like a project anymore. You have to, like, I feel like you got up until like 25 to kind of like start to figure it out. You should have like at least a stable job. Women nowadays, they always say, oh, he has to have his own place. But then, they be living at home. So I require the same thing that you require. I'm like, all right, she has to be out here getting it by herself. Because for me, no woman's first living situation should just be with a man. You can't go from your parents' house to a man. I feel like it's very important because I had to know what it was like to go out and struggle and actually know, like, dang, I can't do certain things because I got to pay bills and stuff. She has to know that so she can have a strong sense of self.
Okay.
So that, and just, be able to have a conversation. We're so lost in today's world. Like, people look at the gram, get their news from the gram, stuff like that, always just looking at their phone. If we can't sit in a restaurant and you can't have your phone down and not look at it, at least shoot. If I go to the bathroom, look at your phone if you want to. But if we sitting in front of each other and you can't hold a conversation for an hour, yeah. So conversation is a big thing, and I give y'all a shout out all the time because it's like y'all sit here and y'all have adult conversation with each other once a week, even if it's just once a week. I was with a girl for I don't even know how long, and we didn't even do that. And it's like, damn, y'all the perfect example. I love y'all podcasts. Y'all so like in tune with each other, and it's like that's cool. Like
it's therapeutic for us, though.
I do. I think it helps.
It kind
helps
of
our marriage a little bit.
Right.
It does, and it forced us to have those conversations. Sometimes you take your significant other for granted. You know what I mean? You take what you know for granted. You know, we've been together for so long, so I know. Dani knows I play basketball on Wednesdays. I'm good. I'm like I don't have to tell her, but you know what I mean. I should just still tell her sometimes, just in case type situation. So I think that's the biggest thing is just remembering and you know, not to take your partner for granted, because again, we do it so often. So us being able to talk, this kind of forces us to have that conversation. It kind of forces us to kind of call each other out and to be open, because again, somebody else may be going through the same thing that we're going through, and they don't know how to they don't know how to converse. They don't know what to do because they're so used to it. There was a time that me and Dani, when we argued, we were able to talk better via text. Yeah. Like express our feelings through text than in person. Yeah. You know, like
because we took it kind of like sometimes, even though sometimes like you can misconstrue somebody's intent in a text message. Sometimes for us, like
it was easy.
It took the emotion out of it because like out of like the tone and like because it's not like you said, like TJ, even when he was younger, like he comes off really like loud and aggressive and everything. So
I told you it's just who I am.
I understand that, but it's still problematic when we arguing. So when we're arguing and he's getting all like rah rah, when even though he's just expressing himself, he's not trying to like yell. It's hard to like hear what he has to say because I'm feeling like I'm being yelled at. So sometimes for us, like we would have to take a break and like he'll go upstairs and I'll be downstairs or vice versa, and then we literally will be in the same house, but we'll text each other like the remainder of the conversation because of like it's better for us to get it all out. And plus sometimes when you have to write it down, you can clarify your thoughts better than when you're in the heat of an argument. So but this, I mean, I think that's interesting that you're saying like you want at this stage in your life you want somebody who's kind of like you said, not a project, but maybe like a work in progress, like in the sense.
Yeah, I just want to add to what you have. I don't want to build you up anymore. Yeah. I've done that twice in 2 separate relationships. Okay. Because I always been kind of mature. Like I don't know, I got an old soul, so I always been mature. So I follow people that who's still living life. Yeah. And it's like I did that already. Yeah. Like you guys are fortunate. Y'all been together. Y'all knew. He got a good one early. That's not real life.
No, like, we are the exception, not the rule.
Right. Like, and I was listening
all the time.
And then I was listening to you guys on the Horrible Decisions podcast, and I was just like, it's really not that uncommon, but it is like in this city. So it's just like I just want a grown adult woman who can have adult conversation, who I'm attracted to. Like it's just not. I don't feel like it's that hard, but it is. It is. It really
I don't think it's hard either, but I think it just depends on who. Like I said, I happened to meet her, and it happened to go there. And Dani was always just a special woman,
right?
Even like she was young when we met. She was always just mature, like who she was, and those are the kind of things. Like, because we dated, well, I'm going to say we messed around a little bit.
Play.
And then we broke up or whatever.
Quote unquote, yeah.
And then it was kind of like...
juvenile.
Yeah, it was. But for me, it was kind of like, yo, she was a good one. Like, she was dope.
Bro, she cleaned your room. Yeah. Like, nobody ever cleaned my room, but bro.
That came second.
Oh, okay,
That's after we got back together. Okay. And then she cleaned my room. And then when she did that shit, I said, oh.
And then you didn't even have to ask, like, dude, if I put a sock on the floor, the girls I date, they'll leave that sock there. Like, And the dirty clothes bin is right there. Like, I have to say, yo, can you put that sock there?
Nah,
why can't you do it?
She was a legend. To me, when I came home and I'm like, oh shit, my mom did this? Cool. And then my mom was like, nah, I wasn't even in your room. And then it was Dani. Like, to me, that just showed me she was selfless. Like,
that's the thing, selfless.
You know,
that's so hard to find.
And you know, I could have. So when we first started dating, I could have went with the norms. She was a bigger girl. Don't mess with her. And for me, in a sick way, I would say I was like, she's a big girl, but she's pretty. So at the end of the day, fuck it. If they gonna go, they gonna go. They can say she's a big girl, but they can't say she's not pretty.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was kind of my philosophy. Like, she was a dope ass woman, but I'm not gonna lose her to try to find what society say, you know what I mean, I should be with. She made me happy. She was a dope ass woman, and she was pretty as shit. She still is pretty as shit, but
thank you.
But for me, that was kind of my turning point, you know. And it makes me wonder how many people lose out on whatever. Like, they have a girl who does everything, but you know, their friends is like, she's not up to what we're used to or whatever. Like, people make those sacrifices without even really thinking about the consequences that come from sacrifices. So,
did anybody ever try to like press you?
No. Not really.
That's what I'm saying. Like, your friends won't never do that.
I always hear this story because it makes me think, like, you know, so TJ was always like sitting on ready to like defend why he was with me, but I was wondering if it ever even came up. I never even thought that.
No, it didn't. But I would hang around certain people and I would hear them talk about.
So you knew like that would be like their line of thinking.
Yeah, that'd be their
It wasn't
line.
always like my like direct guys, but it would be like my direct guys and their guys who become my guys. So when they're talking about body counts, and niggas are like, well, I got 10 bodies, I got 15 bodies,
right,
but 8 of your bodies is trash.
Right.
All 10 of my bodies is fire. So
right.
So my shit is better than yours.
Yeah.
So you hear that and you think about that and you're like, damn.
It's a stupid mentality. I was talking about that on my Snapchat the other day. I was just like, why do people do that? And it's like, does it even really matter, bro? Like,
I don't think it does. For me, but again, being older, I don't think it matters. At the end of the day, your past is your past, love.
Right.
As long as you coming in disease free, we rocking. And as long as no one has like videos and stuff, like, I can't have something that can come back, I feel like. But if you have bodies,
but I was talking about like from the male perspective though. Even like males just typically bragging about that. I was just like, that's kind of corny, dude. Like, you know, a real player won't really say shit like that.
A gentleman doesn't kiss and tell.
Right.
It's the over masculinity.
Yeah.
I want to show that I'm a man so much that
you're really not showing me you're really a man, bro.
Yeah.
Real man take care of his family. He does stuff like that. That's a real man, you know.
Definitely. Actually, like, I can jump to that because y'all kind of walked into that nicely. One of the questions I had was like, so I was listening to the most recent episode of Unpopular Opinion.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So you had several different opinions, and y'all were having different conversations. And one, it was kind of a roundabout way about body count that came up because it was the Beyonce versus Rihanna type of thing.
Oh, yes.
And
yes. Let's get into that.
And it was like, in a roundabout way, you were saying that like body count matters for a woman, but like, because what was being said was that dudes would wife Rihanna, like would claim her in a second because she's Rihanna, even though she has a high body count. Like, a high body count is a detractor. It's like a negative for a woman. So I guess that is a question. Is like, what is the hang up with body count as it pertains to women? Like, I see that y'all kind of have like have kind of downplayed it with guys too, saying they talk about it too much to kind of like that hyper masculinity. But then why is it that women are being like, you know, stigmatized for having a body count or whatever that number may be that equates to too much, you know?
Yeah, I have a unconventional way of thinking. I actually, as I got older, I remember when I was young, I used to care about stuff like that. And then I had a girl I was dating, and I actually asked her, what was it? And she said a number that I was not prepared for. And you got to understand, like, a lot of times when people go to college, they're experimenting, not in life, just life stuff, including that. and she said a number I was not prepared for, and it took me such a long time, because at this point, it's like I'm into her, so it's like it took so long to like get past it. Mm-hmm. It was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, because now it's like it really shows, like it showed me like you can't be hung up on a past. So to go into what we was talking about in that episode, I was pretty much saying like I don't care, because it's not necessarily a bad thing. Look, love is not. This is not sacred no more. In the times that we live in, sex is not sacred no more. Like, people just do it just to do it. If you like them, you don't. Males and females. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know what happened, but it's gone. Even in our music, you don't hear about love anymore. Mm-hmm. So, when I was saying on the show, it's just like, Rihanna is somebody, you know, she's out there. Her relationships is pretty much public. You know everything about her. Not one man that I know said, nah, she slept with too many dudes. I can't be with her. No. Everyone will say, yeah, I'll still wife her. And then you got Beyonce, who I don't know too much other than Marcus Houston and Jay-Z. And Jay-Z. And it's just like, Rihanna has such a strong sex appeal about her that it doesn't matter. But when you look at Beyonce, you're just like, yeah, she's just like a mom. Like, okay, all right, wait before the Beehive answer. So it's like, you know, she's just like mom. Like, she's elegant, she's beautiful. But when I'm with my woman, I want to be crazy about my woman. Mm-hmm. So in that episode, somebody said, I showed a little meme. I forgot the meme said per se, but it says something along the lines of, if Beyonce is so bad, why did Jay-Z cheat and Kanye didn't? Because they was comparing Kim K, you know, hoary or whatever, lack of a better word, thottish background to that. And then it made you think, it's like, I
have an answer.
But go ahead. Yeah, please.
So I remember that aspect of it. I think that's how like the conversation started.
That's how the conversation. That was the air it out. Yes.
It just kept going.
Yeah.
And you were just
took over the episode.
How, like, we never. Every time you try to keep us on track, we go off the rails.
Right.
I got you. So the question, the meme, whatever, was like, oh well, if Beyonce is all these things, she's the quintessential wife and mother and stuff. And why did Jay-Z cheat? Because that's Jay-Z's problem.
Oh wait, yeah, that's what it was. Because everybody was comparing, like everybody was saying, let Beyonce be the reason, like you shouldn't be like Kim K. Oh, okay. That's what it was. Because what was that? What happened recently? I forgot. It was something happened recently that people did that.
Braids, the pictures.
Kim K was posting like.
Oh, she posted a new photo. Yeah, and then let Beyonce be the reason to show y'all why y'all shouldn't be like Kim K. See, and then the person said that.
Being someone who's married, being someone just older, I don't think it's always the woman's fault that a man would cheat. Mm-hmm. She may play a part, but it ultimately comes back to the man.
Because I don't want this to be about cheating. Because this is more just about I'm accepting your woman for who she is.
And we don't know them. And I think
that's what I'm saying.
Even the body count thing with like Rihanna, like we are only operating.
We're operating from what we see.
From what we see. So the little bit of information we have, and like I'm thinking about it in my head, and I'm going through like the Rolodex, and it's like, so we know Rihanna's been with who? Chris Brown,
Leonardo
arguably
DiCaprio,
Drake. But
Drake.
Do we know for sure
Drake.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Well,
the dude she's
we're
dating
talking
now.
about
She was with Leo.
Okay.
They were in La Marina.
So that's what we're at 4.
There's been other people.
Travis Scott.
5. So what number equates to like what threshold is too many bodies, or like what number is too many bodies where Rihanna becomes an exception to that rule? Like that's my thing.
That's what I was saying. It doesn't matter no more. It doesn't matter. It just shows the times that we're in. It doesn't matter.
He's saying it doesn't matter. He's saying that sex really isn't sacred no more. Like
it's not.
Back in the day,
it mattered.
I mean, it mattered, but people are having sex just cause.
Just cause.
Saturday, you were there, so let's rock.
You know,
I'm not gonna
Tinder,
not wife
like
a chick now because I heard what her past was. Whatever her past was, that's what it was. Like it happened before me. And when as a single man out here, and I'm looking at what's given to me now, is just like I said, an interesting point at the end of that cast is like, all right, am I gonna date a woman who has 2 to 3 kids, or I'm gonna take a woman who has a crazy past, who might still be a good catch. Like she can have a great job, stuff like that, but she's just in tune with her sexuality. And
I understand.
all right,
and the older you get, like the more you're going to come up against people who had like. Obviously, the more time that goes by, the more history a person is likely to have. So be it sexual proclivities, or having one or more children, because that's what happens in our society. People have kids, and most people have kids in their 20s and 30s. So if you are in your 30s and you meet people, you might come up against, the older you get, the more and more likely you're going to come up against somebody who has these things going on. So I think with the whole like Kim K and Beyonce thing, Kim K is categorized as that because of how she got famous and how she also capitalized off of the way she got famous.
Her mother pimped her out.
She did.
I
believe that.
100%.
So I think that's why she's always going to be, in the thirst trap she posts and things like that. Not to say that Beyonce has not posted things that could be considered like thirst traps, but it has to do with like the trajectory in which they're moving. It's just like Beyonce's origins and Kim K's origins are so different. Their brands are different. Their origins are different. So, and Beyonce has made it her mission to only give us what she wants. Where Kim K and the Kardashian empire makes it their point, like their bread and butter comes from overexposure of themselves, literally and figuratively. So they don't make money unless they share. Like that's what got Kim K robbed in Paris. It's because they always overshare between what they're doing, where they at, who they're with, and I think that sometimes is where the difference lies. And also, Beyonce has talent. She's worked. She earned everything she has. She's earned.
Kim K has talent.
Kim K.
She's a porn star.
No.
She's talented.
No.
Not everybody can do that.
So they're so different, but yet they're in many ways they're at the same celebrity status, or they move in the same circles. But
look at the branding. You see what you said about the branding though. Like Beyonce's form of branding worked probably 5 years ago.
Like but she changed her branding though.
She got a little sexy on that. What was that album? 4 was the one with Partition, all that stuff like that.
Beyonce, a self-titled.
All right, yeah.
But in 4, she did like
4 was when she was pregnant.
There was a time that Beyonce was like a robot, like very politically correct, and then
she still is. I think so.
If you listen to her music, she's changed a little bit. She's been cursing in music, like.
She was angry. That was an angry album. The last one.
I'm saying that's the growth, right?
She's grown now.
She's no longer under her father, so she's kind of learning to be herself now. Yeah. Like before, she had the machine behind her telling her, "You got to smile like this. You got to eat like this. You got to talk like this." And then when she got with Jay-Z, it kind of became like, "Yo, you're Beyonce. Talk your shit." Like.
Really, I don't feel that way.
I mean, I think she lets the music speak for her. Like if you start from Dangerously in Love and you go up to Lemonade, there's definite growth in it. Like from the content to sonically to even like the videos and stuff. And I think that you see her grow up and you see her mature and come into her own as a wife, as a woman, as a mother, as a business, as a mogul. And you see all that in her, but she lets the music do the speaking for her, in my opinion. Whereas, like, I'm not gonna knock that Kim K or like the Kardashian clans. They're at least Kris Jenner, like their business savvy is unparalleled because they got they turn water into wine type of stuff. Like they made something from nothing basically. That could have been a career ender, but it ended up sparking what is now a multi-million-dollar empire.
I mean, it could have been a career ender if it was like Beyonce. That could have been.
Yeah. But it was a career starter. She had no
Kim K had no career. That became her talent. That's what she became known as. And then once her body and shit got done, now she's exotical. So now we all love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah,
exotical. Word of the day. Exotical.
But I think the difference is with Beyonce, it's like I'm sexy, but I don't have to show you my nude body to show I'm sexy.
See, I kind of don't agree. Like the times that we in now is just like we're in the age of the Instagram models, the like people getting clout
but I don't
for just being beautiful.
No, I get that. But
and it's just adjusting. That's all I am. Like, I get it. Be like, that was you 2-3 years ago. She's just not my type of woman. Like I would prefer a Rihanna. I want to be crazy about my woman, like rather than she being elegant all the time and politically correct all the time.
So what if she's like that on IG, but when y'all are together, she's everything you want her to be? Like this is who she is on IG. Because I think about it like, I work in corporate America, so I'm PG at work. Right. I'm not TJ.
He's Terrence.
We all should be.
So saying that to say, like, it's kind of, especially being a large black male, I have to be super PC.
Yeah, me too. I know. I feel you on that.
If I have any type of attitude or sound like I have an attitude, it's the big black man is angry.
He's angry. Yeah. Yep. I deal with that every day, bro.
So yeah, because I remember you talking about how you had an issue, and then the person decided to not tell you about it. Like, and that's why I don't even tell people what I'm feeling. Like, I may tell my boss because we have that relationship, and working other jobs, I've learned that you got to be able to speak for yourself. But I try, like, when people are gossiping, I'm going to listen because I want to hear. But I'm not going to say anything because I don't want no one to ever be like, well, TJ said, nah, you're never going to hear that. And I think that's kind of the thing. I think sometimes we give our representatives, because if we don't, we get slandered. You know what I mean? Like, if Beyonce did something different than what she does, she would get slandered. If she did what Kim K did, they will slaughter her. I think the difference with Rihanna, though, is
she does that.
No, but she does that because she had that whole girl gone bad, gone wild situation. Plus, she was beat on, and that kind of allowed her to keep an edge. It kind of allowed her to have a I don't give a fuck attitude.
And you know what? That's going to bringing it back to what she was saying. I think that's what it is. I just like my women with the I don't give a fuck attitude. Yeah, because if you're comfortable with who you are, that's sexy to me. If
the confidence,
a little bit of insecurity kind of like blows mine. So it's just like I like edgy. I
can understand and I respect that. And I think I'll say this: I don't take Beyonce as somebody who's like. I mean, everybody has insecurities, I'm sure, but like I don't take her as insecure. But I just don't take. I understand what you're saying is like she's not maybe as vocal about how she doesn't care. I think she doesn't care honestly about a lot of things, but I think it's just not as like overt as like a Rihanna might be.
Okay.
So I have one more like pressing question for you, and I think this is the one you've been kind of
this is the good one. This is the one I was waiting for.
So
I think
I'm speaking from the role of a wife,
Go ahead.
A former girlfriend.
Absolutely.
So on your last podcast, you guys had a conversation about going away on vacations. And you made the argument for taking, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this is just
please
to clarify.
Quote it. Yes.
You made the argument that wouldn't you take why wouldn't you want to take a friend or a female friend who has thought like tendencies that you can really like enjoy yourself than your actual significant other, like your actual girlfriend.
Right.
So where were you coming from with that?
Okay, so on my last podcast, that was episode 4 of Unpopular Opinion. Find it on iTunes and SoundCloud. Me and the fellas was having a conversation, right? And the fellas always say, you always hear guys say, I would never take a girl on vacation other than my girlfriend or significant other, wife, whatever. And I was like, why is that necessarily a bad thing? Like I say, I have an unconventional way of thinking. I said, what's wrong with taking a girl who is godlike, right? And when I was saying that, I was saying like they're a little more wilder, they're more free, and there's like kind of less restrictions than it would be when you go with your significant other. You can look at other women. The possibility of a threesome is something that you could think about. They get sexier. They're just out of their element. Like they're not really yours, and it's kind of like free. It's like being free. So I think you disagree with me somewhere.
So let me
open the debate
for the listeners. So you're saying like you're not necessarily like taking somebody as opposed to your girlfriend. Like you have a whole girlfriend and you're taking.
No, you don't have. No,
you're just single.
You're single,
and you're taking someone who you would like to spend a long weekend with in a tropical island, but not necessarily
in a romantic kind of way. Just like a fun.
I think what he was saying more so is that as guys, we may say we are only going to take our significant
like they're only the ones that worth spending.
He's saying
they're only ones worth spending the vacation money on.
He's saying, why can't you be like this shorty that you fool with? Let's just go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, like when you're dating someone or you're talking to somebody, if that's what you want to do, then by all means do that. But I don't think it's fair to say that like your wife or your significant other, your girlfriend isn't going to be all those things when they go on vacation, because I think everybody to an extent, and let me not say everybody, most people, male, female, let down their hair, so to speak, when they go away on vacation, because you're away, you're out of the country, you're in another city, so people get more relaxed and they get a little bit more loosey-goosey, whatever you want to call it. Now, do they always does everything, does your heart's desire, every sexual desire get filled? Maybe not, but I just don't think it's like a fair assessment of a wife or a girlfriend to say that they're not that type. And I think that some of the guys on the show were kind of like combating that too, with you, saying like, nah, like my girl, like I want to go with her because I know like we are going to have a good time together. Mm-hmm. So
I want to point out that most of them had girlfriends, so that was the correct answer.
Oh.
So it's like when you're single and you're answering it, it's different. So it's like, their significant others listen to my show as well. Okay. To be fair.
So they were being politically correct.
Not all of them, but it was a couple of them that were being politically correct.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. I understand the question. And being someone who's married, being someone who dated the same person, but we went through the stages together. I think when you do go away with that significant other, if you find that you can't have fun with them, then that's kind of like a telltale sign. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think you should marry or be in a committed relationship with somebody that you can't do whatever you want to do. Like as long as whatever y'all agree upon in y'all relationship should be there. But if y'all go away and she don't want to party all night, but you're like, yo, we just spent whatever to come to this paradise,
right?
Then I would say deuces. But being older, I think you may be in a scenario where you don't have a girl, you want to go away, and you be like, hey, you want to go?
Like,
and then she say yeah, and you be like, all right, cool.
Right.
If you're single and that's what you want to do, absolutely. I just think that we
need clarification.
I think it needs to be clarified, and I also feel like it shouldn't, like it was kind of giving wives and girlfriends a bad rap.
Yeah, I when I played it back, I kind of got what y'all were feeling. A lot of people had a problem with what I said with that, but it's just like, again, everything into that Beyonce and Rihanna conversation. Who would you have more fun on vacation with? You think you would have fun with Rihanna, or you think you would have fun with Beyonce? And it was just like,
I think I'd have fun with both, but okay.
Nah,
you see what I'm talking about? Is the freedom that you might have with a Rihanna is the different from what you may have with a Beyonce. Like Beyonce is like, sit your ass down. Like, what do you think you're doing? You're too old to be acting like that. Rihanna's like, oh, let's go skinny dipping. Let's what I'm saying? Let's turn up. Turn up.
And that's all, but that's based off of a very like small glimpse of what we see of who they
100%.
are. So I think that I get it, and I do feel like, they probably are very different women who have different interests, who have different things, but like I think that it's it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just not always. It could go either way. Like, I get why people would pick Rihanna because you know what, like that she smokes, she drinks, like she has a good time. She seems like a lot of fun, and it's just, and I can see how she seems a lot more fun than Beyonce, and I get why people pick her. I understand why. I just also feel like it just doesn't necessarily mean that just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. 100%.
And I wanted to point out, there's nothing wrong with that. First off, these are not the type of women that I would marry. And that's the point that I wanted to stress, because it was like, I'm not necessarily marrying this woman. I just want to have, if I'm thinking about having fun, just going on vacation, going away with somebody, let's just have fun and turn up, rather than let's just go on vacation and behave ourselves. Like, like.
So what if you meet somebody who's the meaning of the two? So what if that person that you take a weekend, that long weekend away with, the President's Day weekend, and you go to DR and she's all these things that you want on like vacation bay, but then she's not a project, and you got her own place and she's working towards something. So like, what if she has both sides of that coin? So now her vacation bay side is gonna knock her out of the running of being like wifey material?
First off, I've never seen that, somebody that had both. If I had met a woman who had both, she probably have a ring on her finger right now. It's just like,
it's like a unicorn.
Yeah, like, I'm a different kind of dude, man. When I'm with my woman, I want her to, I may act like I don't like it, but she grabbing me up and doing stuff like that. We on vacation and we having fun. She's trying new things. Like, I like that kind of stuff. Like, yeah. It's uncomfortable at the moment because you don't think it's like, oh, this is too good to be true. But I like that stuff. So it's just like, me, I kind of need, like, it's either she's like your friend and your lover. No, I said that wrong. It's either she's like your lover and not your friend. Because I feel like your friend, your friends always want to turn up stuff. Like, you got homegirls want to turn up, do stuff like that. Like, it's either either or nowadays. It's never like that combined thing. So if you do have both, then yeah. I mean, I want vacation bay with wifey.
Okay.
But it's just,
they exist. I promise you.
They exist, and that's what I was talking about on my show. It's really like, it's either or. Okay. Beyonce's wifey, Rihanna's vacation day, and that's why the whole show is kind of centered around them.
And I promise you, they do exist. They come together.
Yo, show me where, man.
Listen, I got girlfriends who I know fit the description, but
then again, when people get in relationships, they turn into different people.
Well,
like, when y'all dating, it's cool, and then like y'all official, and then it go left. Like, whoa, you're not the person I thought you were.
That shouldn't happen though.
It shouldn't.
And when that happens, then
come on, I'm pretty sure y'all know people like that though. Like,
I'm pretty sure we do.
Yeah,
I mean, Dani didn't change, so
yeah.
So I think that's.
We've grown up together, so we aren't the same people.
We've grown up together, yes, but there has been stories where, like you said, they're dating, everything's fun, they get the ring, they start changing a little bit. They get married, and now it's like, what I was able to do previously, I can't do now. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you should never settle for that. Like, when we got married, it was the same way as when we were dating. Like, everything I could do previous, I can still do.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And that's how it should be.
That's how it should be, yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. Sometimes it changes. Sometimes it's like, I'm married now, so I wasn't married before, so I couldn't control you, but now I can control you type shit.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Right.
And I hope I didn't, like, hold your feet to the fire too hard.
Nah, I mean, I was actually expecting, like, harder questions, because there was just, like, I'm ready for it. Like, I'd rather say it. I just want to say how I feel. I don't care, like, what people think. Like, it's just like...
Yeah, no, I think those were, like, the big ones that I had, and I just, wanted to also, like, make sure you, like, had the insight of a different perspective, a woman's perspective, a wife's perspective. So, that way because, like, it could help.
I know my show sometimes comes off, like, chauvinistic, or stuff I say is chauvinistic, but I don't necessarily... I'm really pro-woman. Like, I really, like, believe in, like, a lot of things women should do. Like, one of the things... I'm sorry to get off topic,
no,
but...
It's okay.
Like, when a woman is with a man, right, and let's say they have a child out of wedlock, mm-hmm. I feel like unless he fully commits to her with a ring, if he fully commits to her with a ring, that's the only time the child should get his last name. I don't believe a woman should give the child the last name. We are a package deal. I'm really pro-woman. Like, she has to say, yo, we are a package deal. He or she cannot have your last name unless you're taking both of us. Then she's taking my last name. So it's like, yo, I just think about different things in different kind of ways.
I never heard that one. And I mean, it's
kind of dope.
Yeah.
Because men always like, oh, my child has to have my last name. Like, it's embedded. No, you didn't take the woman either. She's thinking family. Mm-hmm. You might be thinking like,
you're thinking about
for the moment, for yourself.
Yeah.
And then, you get out of the situation. That's a big deal to men, like the child's last name. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I'm going to strip you from that because you didn't take both of us. I wanted a family. You wanted something different. So my family's legacy keeps to go on and not yours, but.
I understand. Okay. Well, I think that's kind of wrapped up our time with our interview and Q&A with Nile. And now it's time for our next segment, our final segment of the show, which is
my favorite part.
My favorite part.
I'm talking to
yeah. Okay. Let's say
the lover's favorite part.
Let's say is our Lovers Quarrel. And when I was talking to TJ on the way up, and we were like discussing what we were gonna do. One thing that we were saying is that a lot of our quarrels can be about relationships and things like that, but it also could just be about literally any topic, as long as there's like maybe a difference of opinion. So our topic this week are what I call television wars. Now you've had serious relationships. Have you ever lived with anybody? Any of your significant others?
No.
Okay. Well.
You ever had a roommate?
Yeah.
But even when you were in a relationship, you guys spent the night at each other's places, things like that. So when you're watching TV, and it's just honestly, it's like about like control of the television and how it can be a really big point of contention. So, and TJ sometimes we get into these TV wars, and he, I think, likes to think that I'm way worse than what I am.
You are.
And I'm definitely not.
100%. You're lying to the people.
I'm not lying. So, and I do want you to chime in on your experience too now.
Yeah,
so we'll get our spiel out, and then
the spiel is you
are a liar.
Yes,
you are a liar.
You are a liar.
You are a big fat liar.
When it's what you want, we watch it.
No, we don't.
But when I want to watch something, you'd be like, "It's stupid. It's dumb."
That's not true.
It really is.
It's not true.
I'm on your side, TJ.
It's not.
I'll be watching like
2-on-1 now.
You know what I mean? It's nothing else for us to do. We watch whatever Netflix is on. They got like these.
No, because you want to watch those stupid.
They got
these stupid
B-class movies. But
the reasons why it took till 2018 for things like Black Panther to be made.
Nah, that's not the reason. It's not the reason. Those stupid movies gave those small people an opportunity. I want to watch it.
I don't want to watch any movie.
You got to give it a try.
I don't want to watch any movie where there are typos in the opening credits. I'm sorry.
I give you that.
What movie had a typo in the opening credits?
Just one that had with Omari Hardwick that we watched because they.
It was a good movie.
Roxy Diaz was in it from 106 & Park, and they misspelled
she's a terrible actress.
But the ending misspelled her name.
All right, so
I caught that. Like I can't. I'm very big on.
That's petty.
I'm a teacher.
That's
what
petty.
People said we don't want to listen to Lovers Quarrel because they're not whoever.
What? We spell everything.
No, I'm saying
we correct each other's English. I'm sorry.
You definitely corrected that. You are the grammar police. I'm saying that you gotta give things a chance. Just because it's not the traditional Hollywood whatever, doesn't mean that it's not a good movie. The same thing with podcasts. There may be people who be like, I don't know who TJ and Dani is, so I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna listen to it. But give us that chance. Give us the chance to be like, this is a terrible episode. This is a terrible podcast. So with our television, I want to watch whatever this movie is because the synopsis looks good.
Okay.
And you're like,
she's like, all right, whatever.
Okay.
You're like, this black.
Let me ask you this.
This black movie.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
So, you're telling me that the movie we watched, where there was spelling errors in the opening credits, was a good movie?
Was it not? Me and my mother thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
And your sister liked it.
Okay, that's 3 people in the whole world.
No.
Wait, what movie is this?
I can't. I'm gonna find it for you right now.
It had something to do with like his wife was crazy. She like killed the baby. It was
It was a good movie.
No, the only good part about it was Omari Hardwick because he's a good actor. He tried to make, again...
Do you hear that? The only good part. So there was a good part.
He tried to make, there's a good part. Diamond out of shit, basically.
Wait, so who wins the remote war?
So this is the
thing.
Does. No, that's not true.
Happy life is what they tell you.
No. That is absolutely true.
So you sacrifice.
That is true.
TJ does not do that. First of all,
that's
there
crazy.
will be more time.
Crazy.
99% of the time, when whatever's on television, when he and I are both in the room, is whatever he wants to watch. Mm-hmm. He monopolizes the DVR. He has the TV cut on to ESPN or SportsCenter.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think the last letter.
That's the last letter.
I never heard that.
So it's awful. Don't waste your time. it's 90 minutes of your life you will never get back. And so
it wasn't. It was actually a really good movie. It had actual good actors in it.
The point I'm trying to make is that he monopolizes the television.
I don't.
And my biggest pet peeve with him when it comes to the TV is not even so much that he watches The Wire to go to sleep or what's the other show you watch like all the time when you...
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons I don't mind because I like The Simpsons too.
Oh, you don't like The Wire.
But I like The Wire too, but sometimes it's like, at this point I'm used to it, but what pisses me off with TJ is that when it's time for us to go to bed, TJ likes to, he decides at 11:30 at night after the day is done, I want to play this new episode of Blackish or this new movie that we've been wanting to see. I'm going to play it. And then 10 minutes later, he's dead to the world. And now I'm up for another 2 hours because I'm committed to watching this. I can't go to sleep.
That's a good thing, no?
No, I can't go to sleep if I'm not watching, if I'm watching something I haven't seen before.
You gotta have self-control.
No.
That's
why
they gave us DVRs and they gave us pause.
But if I try to turn, I feel like we're trying to plead our case to Nile here. If I try to turn it off, because I'm like, or if I complain, now I'm not letting him do his thing. But that's selfish that I can't go to sleep.
All right, so what are the shows that I'm the interviewer. Okay. What are the shows that y'all agree on?
We agree. We can watch The Simpsons to go to sleep.
Okay.
Power?
What?
We like Power, but I'm just saying, I don't think that's a go-to for us. Reruns of Power.
That's not what I'm watching to go to sleep.
No.
But yeah, we watch Power.
So I think cartoons are our safe zone. Batman the animated series. But
that's not really going to sleep.
I'm just talking about in general. What do y'all agree on?
I mean, for the most part, we would agree on almost everything. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those special moments when it's like, all right, we got some time. Let's watch a movie. Let's watch something different. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that.
No. Okay.
And then the things I like, and I think the thing too is he and I have different tastes in genres. I'm really big on science fiction and stuff like that. And he doesn't.
I hate dragons.
I don't even watch Game of Thrones. So
thank you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you too.
I haven't seen it.
But you want to see it.
I would give it a chance.
I'm good.
But
me too.
I just haven't had the time.
I've missed my window.
I watch Stranger Things on Netflix.
I like Stranger Things.
So usually what ends up happening is I make it my business for the things that I like to watch. I just wait till he's not around and I just watch it.
And then my thing is, and I do the same thing. Something I want to watch, I'm gonna watch it. And then if you come into the living room, then I was there ready. So you either gonna watch it.
See, and the difference is though is that when I'm in the room and he comes in, it's either do we have to watch this?
No, I definitely don't.
Or you come in. The difference is that when he's watching something that he wants to watch, and then and I come in the living room, it's I was here first, so I'm finishing watching what I'm watching.
That's fair.
I'm in the living room, and he comes in. He doesn't give me that same courtesy.
You're wrong, TJ.
He goes.
You're wrong
he comes in. He's like, "Can I change the channel?" That's the difference.
You're wrong for that, bro.
That's the difference.
No, I come in.
Thank you.
No,
you're wrong for that, bro.
The difference is if I'm watching TV. If I came in and Dani's watching TV, actually watching it, cool. I'll come in. I'll sit down. I'll look to see what she's doing. She's on her laptop. She's on her phone. So then I'm gonna ask, is it cool about
TV? So you give your undivided attention to what you're watching. You don't pick up your phone on your laptop, Mr. I'm a multitasker.
Yes, I do. But you can't.
All right, lovers. Where do I fit in? What's the question?
Now, I'm sorry. This is a good quarrel. So now, what is your hard line on control of the TV?
I never win. For whatever reason, I keep running into women who love Law and Order, and I can't stand Law and Order.
What?
I can't. I like gritty crime dramas like Sons of Anarchy. What Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad was great.
Really
I got what's that other show? I just got put on tonight. I just finished. It's called Banshee. You heard of that?
I heard of it. I've never seen it though.
That is the perfect show for you two to watch together. This show, I really feel like that's the greatest show I ever saw. People say like Sons of Anarchy. It's a Cinemax show. It's over. It's only 4 seasons, about 10 episodes a season. But it's so addictive. Y'all gonna come home and like, yo, y'all ready? You ready to watch Banshee?
We're gonna have to give it a shot.
Other than that, Law and Order. And I think I hate Law and Order because I'm forced to watch Law and Order.
Which Law and Order is it?
That's
all of them.
Nah, see,
all of them.
That's one thing that like if I'm trying to go to sleep, if it's on.
Oh yeah, I'll go to sleep to that most times.
If it's on USA, yeah, that shit can play all day. SVU be so lit.
I just like shootouts. I like shootouts. I like hand-to-hand combat. I like those shows that are on HBO and stuff.
So you feel like you never win the television war?
I never won a television war. It would always go from like when I was with my ex, like I had to force her to watch Walking Dead. That's my show.
Nah,
that's my show.
Shit.
What?
My mother loves Walking
It's
Dead.
A cult classic.
Nah,
like that's a cult classic kind of show.
I'm sure I would have loved it. I just never I just never had it. For me,
yeah, you missed your window. Were they on season 8?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have like
it seems
all the
the
time
same
anymore.
to me. I tried to because Brad and Eric was watching it and they were getting into it. So I was like, all right, let me. And I'm just like, this shit is the same shit. They go from here to here. They got to fight this villain, and then it shit is just.
I don't know. You just grow attached to the characters, and then they just take them away from you. Yeah, I like shows like that.
So I started watching, stopped watching it, and I watched it when Negan came back. I mean, not when he came back, but when he was there. And he was like ruthless.
Yeah. But I never won the TV, so I just give up. I just give up. And now they got the TV apps on your phone, so I just put on my headphones and I just watch whatever. Yeah. So especially basketball, I never get to watch basketball in peace ever.
Anything TJ is saying because
I get to watch basketball.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. You are awesome for that, Dani.
He does not lose the television war. You win it more than because you put on Real Housewives. You put on. Black and Crew. You put on Love and Hip Hop.
Black and
Crew. I like Chicago better.
Yeah, like all of those.
Like
all Ratchet.
Better?
Yeah.
All Ratchet TV.
I don't know.
Sky too. Sky. That's somebody you don't share queen status with.
Oh. She's been through a lot.
She don't seem to mind.
She's the queen of the mixies.
Yeah.
Listen, see, still a queen.
On that note,
I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Well, I guess, really on that note, this is our longest episode ever, but I feel like it was great. We just had to let it ride.
I feel like we have material for days.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all gotta support my guy.
Am I the first member or the first?
You're our second.
Yes.
Yes. But you're our first out of town.
Yes.
Oh,
guest.
cool.
So
you're our first guest who has a podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Unpopular Opinion.
Yes. Tell them where they can find you and how they can reach out to you.
Oh yeah, you can reach me on Instagram. It's Roc ROC_B Wylin WYLIN. I don't really post that much, but if you look at my Insta story, I'm always talking crap on there, giving you free content every day. Just whatever you don't like, I'm probably saying it. So you could tune into me there. I'm also Roc B Wylin, just straight through on Snapchat as well.
We'll also put it on the
we'll add all your information in the episode description.
Yeah, and all the episodes, you can check all my previous episodes of Unpopular Opinion on SoundCloud and iTunes. That's pretty much it.
Linking of that as well. We want to thank Roc, Nile, for coming through and showing us love.
Yo, thank y'all, man. This was fun. Yeah.
So, with that being said, this has been another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
It has been.
And as always, we fuss.
We fight.
But we love. Bye.
Farewell. Bye. What's that?